Hi guys, how are you? Hope you are doing good. Welcome back to the channel Agriculture Makes Strong. Today let us discuss about the storage grain pest of the rice and the primary storage grain pest that are internal feeders. We will be discussing like rice weevil, cigarette beetle, lesser grain borer, grain moth, pulse beetle. And in detail we will be discussing about the distribution, host range, dynamics, symptoms and identification of the pest of the primary pest that are above. And if you are new to this channel, please like, share and subscribe to the channel Agriculture Makes Strong. If you want to refer this video PPT, the link will be in the description box. Please check it out, the description box. And for the book, you are searching for any book like storage grain pest of the rice, there will be link in the description box. Let's go into the video. Let us discuss about the rice weevil, which is the scientific naming Cytophilus oryza, Cytophilus diamis, Cytophilus granaris, and we will be discussing about the distribution, identification of the pest, symptoms, and biodynamics like the different developmental stages, how the pest has been occurring, and what are the stages we will be discussing here. And coming to the distribution, it is worldwide throughout the India, and the host range will be like rice, sorghum, wheat, barley and maize. Not only the rice, it occurs as a primary host range in the sorghum, wheat, barley and maize. We will be seeing that biodynamics, how the developmental stages has been occurring and what are the color at the different developmental stages. Means like in larva we will be seeing like 5 mm length and fluffy, fleshy, legless and reddish brown color beetle. Adult will be like 3 mm length, which is long, slender, curved rostrum. And the rice weevil breeds from April to October, and it hibernates in winter and makes the cracks and surfaces in the wheat bags in the godowns or in the rice. In active seasons, it lays the eggs at 400 eggs on the grains, and eggs will be hatching at the 6 to 7 days. And coming to the young larval stage, it directly go to the lead to the grain, and they feed on the grain and they grow maturity, and they grow to the maturity, and they enter into the pupal stage. And the pupal stage lasts for the 6 to 14 days. On the emergence, the adult weevil cuts into the grain and lives for 4 to 5 months. And the rice weevil, if you see it, it will complete at least the generations. Means in a year, what are the generations it has to complete, it will complete. Now we will be discussing that the symptoms of the rice weevil, how the symptoms has been discovered. To discover the pest of the rice weevil, we will be discussing here. Here is the damage symptoms of the rice weevil. First, adult and grubs causes the damage. The larvae will be feeding on the grain, which is causing the irregular holes of having the 1.5 mm diameter, and also the grains or hollowed out, kernels are turned into mere powder, and adults cut the circular holes. Dry heating occurs at the heavy infestation. These are the damage symptoms of the rice weevil. Coming to the identification of the pest, in the egg stage, the pest has been whole with the gelatinous secretion and lays the eggs singly on the grains first. And coming to the grub stage, it is white with yellowish brown color, and pupa stage, it pupates inside the grain. And adult stage, if you observe, it is having the reddish brown to chocolate colored weevils, which are characteristic snot. And if you see, the elytra have the four yellow colored spots. Here you can observe there are four yellow color spots which are on the present on the elytra. These are the identification symptoms of the pest of the rice weevil. Coming to the Lasioderma sericorne, which is commonly called as cigarette beetle, and let us see the host range. These are the host range like wheat, cereal bran, peanuts, cocoa, cotton seeds, spices, even the insecticides containing the pyrethrum, meat, fish meal, ginger, turmeric, and chilies. These are the host range of the cigarette beetle. And if you come to the biodynamics, here you can observe that the grub is whitish in color, and coming to the adult, it is having the brown color, and the thorax and the head are bent towards, and it is so that it is having the humped appearance in the the antenna also, the serrated antenna are present in the cigarette beetle. And if you come to the elytra, it is a straight elytra. Striated elytra is present in the Lacioderma sericorne, and creamy with oval eggs on the surface of the stored material. And coming to the incubation period, it has the 9 to 14 days of incubation period, and larva which lasts for 17 to 29 days, and pupa period ranges from 2 to 8 days. And coming to the major symptoms of the cigarette beetle, or like the grubs and the adults of the bore tobacco products, grubs and adults which bore the tobacco products, and the damage will be like circular pinhead sized bore holes on the processed tobacco. Coming to the next primary pest of the rice is Rhizopertha dominica, which is commonly called as lesser grain borer, and this is the distribution and host range of the less grain borer. Coming to the dominics, it is having the larva at 3 mm length, and it is white in color, which is having the brown, light brown head, which is constricted elongated body, and adult is a small cylindrical, which is having 3 mm in length and less than 1 mm in width. It is having dark shining brown color and deflexed head, which is covered by the crenulative hood-shaped pronotum is present in this lesser grain borer. And what are the major symptoms of the lesser grain borer which is affecting the grain is like, if you can see that there the grub and the adults causes very serious damage and they feed ferociously, and the adults will make the grain kernels to a frass, and they grab it ferociously, and they can make the grain as a dust, and they are capable of attacking the grain externally. This is the major primary pest, you can say that. And the identification of the pest will be like the egg will be laid on the surface and singly in the clusters, and you can see that the grub will be like white, brown head, free living up to third instar stage. Pupa will be like a third instar stage for the pupation. It starts for pupation. In adult stage, it turns brown to brackish color beetle, and head is deflexed downwards. Here you can see that the head is deflexed towards and below porothorax to such an extent. This is about the lesser grain borer. Coming to the grain moth, it is having the host range of paddy, maize, jowar and wheat, which is rarely seen host range. And coming to the larva, it is having the 5 mm long white body and yellow head, and in the adult stage it is having the grey yellow color or brown or straw colored stage moth, and narrow pointed wings with long hair, and a single female lays eggs up to average of 150 eggs within a week after mating, and egg period will be like 4 to 8 days if you want to observe, and the larval stage may last up to 3 weeks, and the larva constructs a silken cocoon in a cavity before pupation. Here you can see that it is making the cocoon which is silken and before the pupation, and the pupal period will be like 9 to 12 days, and adult will live for about 4 to 10 days. Coming to the symptoms, the major symptoms which is causing the damage to the grain pest by grain moth is like a larva which is damaging the grain, adults being harmless, and grains are hollowed out. It attacks both in fields and the stores, so it is very major pest. It is in the stored bulk also. Its infestation will be confined to up to 30 centimeters depth only. So you can observe it in the godowns. The caterpillar enters the grain through cracks or abrasion on the grain. It feeds inside and remains in a single grain only. And coming to the identification of the pest of the grain moth will be like, identification means in green egg it will be like white in color on the surface of damp grains in the stores or fields. The grain moth can be seen in both fields and the stores. So the management to be taken, manage is very compulsory for the grain moth. If not, it will make the heavy damage to the crop or grains. Coming to the larval stage, it is white with yellow color, head and pupa, pupates in cocoon inside the grain. Adult dirty yellowish brown with narrow pointed wings completely folded over the back in a sloping manner. These are the some of the identification marks of the pest of grain moth. Coming to the next primary pest, that is Calasobruchus chinensis, Calasobruchus maculatus, which is commonly called as pulse beetle. The host range, if you see the pulse beetle, it can be occurring in all the whole pulses, beans and grams. Coming to the larva, it is having the whitish light brown color head, and the mature larva is up to 6 to 7 mm long, and adult is up to 3 to 4 mm length, and it is oval in shape and reddish brown in color. And coming to the antenna, it is having the serrated antenna and truncate elytra and not covering the pygidium. And in active season, the single female lays up to 34 to 113 eggs, and egg period is like 6 to 16 days. The larval period is like 10 to 38 days. The pupal stage lasts for 4 to 28 days. The overall lifespan of an adult is 5 to 20 days. The insect passes through 7 to 8 overlapping generations in a year. These are the dynamics of the growth developmental stages of the larva, pupa, and all this of the pulse beetle. And coming to the major symptoms here, pulse beetle is causing the major symptoms like the grub eats the kernel. Here you can see how it is making damage to the grain and make the cavities. Adults can make making holes. So these are the symptoms, and let us see about the identification of this pest of pulse beetle is in next stage. They laid singly and glued to the surface of the pod on the grains, and fresh eggs are translucent orange cream in color. This is the eggs color, and grub will be like a fleshy and covered creamy white in color with black mouth parts. Pupa will be like pupation takes place in a pupal cell
If
which
you
is
like this
prepared
video,
beneath the
please
silk
like,
coat.
share, and
These are some
subscribe to
of the
my channel.
identification marks of the pest of pulse beetle. These are the some of the points which are covered of the primary pest.